with as I've around. But I've been through Africa, through LATAM. I'm going to Trinidad and Tobago tonight, visiting the Caribbean. I'll be in the Middle East in November. And what's been really fun is that in each of these countries that we've visited, I've done a 3-hour slap workshop, just teaching slap beginning to end in every single city. And it's been so much fun for me. I'm remembering how much I love slap. So today I get to do that with all of you. And we'll be able to do the advanced version because you guys already know it and know how to use it. As Columbo said, the mission of today would be that if you guys do want to think of it as a working session, so let's not think of it like a webinar where you just sort of tune out and do a million things in the background. I think if you really try to listen closely and even have your Slap Center account open, I think you're going to see opportunities to tweak your slap, make it better, get more support, do all the things that you might need. So what I want to do as we start though, is just start with a couple of prompts here in chat. So let's just drop into chat responses to 3 opening questions I have for all of us to get into the conversation, into the flow of success in science. So my first question, if you'd be willing to just throw in your quick thoughts into chat, is how are you feeling today? As you enter the space, as we're all entering in, how are you feeling? Just throw in a couple feeling words. Everyone's faces are making me laugh right now. Any number of things could be about to based on seeing all your faces right now. Sleepy, motivated, energized, great, motivated. Oh, and exclamation marks. I love that. Thanks, Nisha. Excited, sleepy, but coffee. Look at my teacup. Everyone makes fun of my teacup. This is my teacup that I drink from every day. It says size gap. Disconnected, that's real. Excited, blessed, motivated. How great is that? I'm excited for you, Dawn, that you feel that way. Okay, so we're coming in tired but accomplished. Kevin, I like that you can hold those two side by side. Hungry, Keisha, let's get you some food. Okay, so as we enter the space, we always teach in SLAP that feelings are fickle. They're not necessarily reliable. They don't necessarily tell us the truth, but they're good to note and acknowledge, right? If we're going to really do the good work of increasing or modifying or optimizing our behavior to get to the outcomes we want, how we're feeling has a massive impact on our ability to do that. So as we go through the content today, as we talk, as we go through this work today, just note how you're feeling. The feelings will give us insights. It might mean you need to go take a 3-minute break and get some food. It might mean something really triggers you and upsets you. Okay, so interesting. Let's dive in. It might mean that there's some concept or idea that really jazzes you. That's helpful to know because you can use that to game yourself, which we're going to talk about a little bit. So just note your feelings. I always say, don't believe your feelings, but note them. Give them space, acknowledge them. Okay. Question number 2. How are you doing at hitting your SLAP goal? So if you're logged into SLAP Center and you want to cheat, or if you're really on top of things and even better, what percentage are you currently at? I don't know how to write this. What percentage? I I need to rewrite that sentence. Clearly I'm tired too. What percentage have you of your annual sales goal? Have you hit so far? And what quarter are you in? Because that context obviously matters. So if you're bold or brave enough to actually write that stat down, throw it in there. We're going to talk a lot today about how specificity matters when it comes to success. Tequila, look at her casually throwing down 104%. Awesome. That makes me happy. 4% in second quarter. I love that clarity. 2% quarter 2. Okay, that's good. The truth will set us free, I always say. So just like feelings are fickle, we want to note them, but not like get bogged down by them. Knowing exactly where we're at in pursuit of the goals we want, is that clarity is what allows us to know what we need to modify, change, adjust, double down on. So there's no good or bad answer. There really isn't. I'm as proud as I'm really mean this when I say I'm as proud of Aisha knowing she's at 20%, 27% in the second quarter, as Jessica saying she's at that rockin' 178% in the fourth quarter. It's not, there's no judgment on the number. But what's critical is we know it. Because if we know it, we can understand it, right? I have as many questions for Jessica as I have for Isha. Jessica, what is going on here? What can we learn? What do we need to know? What do we need to double down on? What do we need to stop? Okay, Aisha, what do we need to know? What's going on here? What do we need to double down on? Right. And so it's the same curiosity that we enter, regardless of what the number is. Does that make sense to you guys? But we got to know the number. We can't know how to change behavior if we don't understand the truth for real, 100% of the number. I also want to note, it's really interesting. A lot of you guys are in Q2 right now, Q2 of various slap years. We could all probably talk about this a lot more. We'll talk about it as we go through the day. But it's definitely true that we start to see slapsters gaining more momentum in like the end of Q2, Q3, Q4, like the work that you guys do in Q1 starts to add up. So we should also maybe, JC Jason, our head of products in the room, we should think about normalizing some of this data quarter by quarter over time, because that is, of course, you're going to start to see more impact towards your annual goal, of course, as you get to the second half of the year. Tiza, I love that you're noting that you reset your annual goal. Because you exceeded the goal. I didn't finish reading the note. I thought you were gonna say it was too high, it was too unrealistic. Okay, I love that. All right, we're gonna reset again. Hush. All right, we're gonna talk a lot about goals, so we're gonna come back to this conversation. But this chat is full of very juicy information about success. Okay. Success is science. This is the framing we're going to keep coming back to today. What would you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 the amount of support you have wrapped around you right now? So if success is science, what the science is going to teach us is that there's a formula for success. We are not meant to do it alone. We need comprehensive, robust structure and support wrapped around us consistently over time to really maximize our success. So what would you give yourself as your support score right now? 10, 10, 9 out of 10, 7, 8, 15. Check that out, Maria. 8, 7, 7, 10. Amazing. Okay. So there's no surprise to me that in this room, right? First of all, you all showed up here, which means you engage in support. For those of you who know exactly where you're at, that's a sign of being well supported. So it actually is no surprise to me that most people in this room are having such high support scores. That makes a lot of sense to me. You're engaging in even being here. That's a sign. Linda, we want to help you get that 20% higher. I would say the average small business owner probably has a support average of about 10, 20%. And the difference oftentimes between those who accomplish their goals and those who do not is not necessarily that they're so much smarter. Their business is so much more fabulous. It really is their embracing of this structure and support. So I love these numbers. And for those of you who are feeling a little lower, Geneva, I just saw your 1 out of 10. Linda, I see your 20%. Let's use this today to really to get that moving, to get that number higher for you guys. Okay, so let me do my last little prompt. And this is just to make sure that I can be helpful to all of you. What do you most need today? What about this topic intrigued you? Why did you decide to come today? So if you could just put into chat, what would be helpful to you? When we think about this concept of success as science, how it connects into SLAP, how it connects into getting what you need to succeed, what would you like to accomplish today? What if you could leave here in an hour and 40 minutes with something that you need? What is that thing you need? Let's just take a second and think about that, because then we'll make sure we get what we all need. Come to whatever you guys offer. A next step idea. Okay, so I'm gonna frame that, Jillian, as action, right? And a clear next step. Better understanding of the metrics, move sales and products forward in a better way, finances, motivation to move my business forward. Okay, affirmation that even though business is non-traditional, it's necessary and wanted in the world. Oh, Shani, I will give you that. Whatever all of you are doing is necessary and wanted in the world. So we'll keep doing that. But yes, I can give you that right this second. I need to redo my slap. Okay, great, Bonnie. So, right, what's the lessons you can learn to make your next year's slap better? Great question. Maria, repetition, repetition. I love that. Yes, right. I always say I have been teaching slap for 20 years. The methodology has never changed. The way we deliver it has. I have taught it. I can't even, how many times have I taught slap? A million, maybe. I mean, I'd have to do the math a lot of times. And I still learn something new every time I talk about it with you guys and every time, right? So yes, repetition, repetition. Linda, if you figured out how to clone yourself, send me a quick little note. I'd love the details. Yeah. Okay. Better understanding the true metrics behind success, how to build a team, how to push yourself to set higher goals. I love that. Okay. Funding. Okay. So we've got all sorts of individual realities that we need. We can hold space for all of it. What I am going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to teach for a little bit. I'm going to walk us through, the methodology first. I'm going to go into presentation mode. How do I do that? Okay. So I'm going to teach you guys some concepts first. Oh, but I'm on the last page. So let's just see if I can get us to the right page and then present. Okay. I'm going to teach us, why does it keep doing this? All right. Well, close your eyes. I'm going to have to just go all the way back here. All right, there we go. I'm going to teach us first. I can't see the chat box when I'm in presentation mode like this. So maybe Sashni or Colombo, if questions are popping up, if you can just tag me. I can see down in the bottom that that questions may be coming up. But if you guys can let me know what the questions are, then by all means, everyone, I've got about probably 30 minutes of information I want to teach you. So we can power through it if there's no questions, and then just to have a really robust Q&A discussion. And as we're going, if questions come up, please ask them and I will joyfully pause and we'll dialogue as we go. But let's dive into it. Now, I'm going to set the stage for this idea that success is science by walking us through a couple of starting points of view. The first is that our point of view at Silver Lining, which I think a lot of you have heard me talk about, is that I'm really a big believer that we need to create a new vision of business so that we can define our success differently. So if we're gonna have a conversation today about how success is science, well, what does success even mean? What are we going to apply science to, and how do we ultimately measure our success? As many, I think, have heard you guys have heard me say, I believe that success is when we as business owners are able to align our mindset, our profit, and our impact. That ultimately, my belief is business is a powerful tool for justice, but that really what that means for all of us is that instead of just thinking of our success as how much money we made, we would actually step back and be even more ambitious, more audacious, and say that actually we want to be successful from a overarching mindset and wellness point of view and profit and actually contribution to the world. That actually that is success. And so at Silver Lining, we are going for silver, not gold, right? Gold is sort of the current definition of success. It's about being number one. It means growth at all costs. It says bigger is always better. What I want for all of us in our community is actually that silver is about winning together. It's about alignment, and it celebrates. It really says that small is big. So if all of us succeed a little bit, that is so much more powerful from an economic development point of view, from a family point of view, from a generational wealth point of view, at every macro and micro level. all of us succeeding a little bit more has so much power in it than one of us becoming massively successful. And so we've been taught in this sort of culture of entrepreneurship that there's this very specific version of success. And if we don't hit it, we are not succeeding. And I am here to tell you that I fundamentally disagree with that point of view. So the hijacking of entrepreneurship has really started, it started in really when like sort of tech entrepreneurship came in, right? But it glorifies venture funding. It is completely focused on a narrative where we're supposed to raise millions and sell for billions. And it really worships, tech bros, celebrity entrepreneurs, which are the teeniest of tiniest percentage of entrepreneurs that are really driving the world. What I think is true and what I think we all need to proudly reclaim as a community is that we want to prioritize profitable revenue as the best form of business capital. There is nothing more powerful than you owning 100% of your business and actually generating revenue that allows you to have your freedom, your choice, your agency, your profit. Where you build a business, where you get to build a business. You have power and control to build the business you want that builds your mindset, your profit, and your impact, ultimately creating freedom and influence. And that lionizes every single person on this planet, particularly those who are marginalized, and honors that every single person is making a significant contribution to our community and to our economy. It is completely ridiculous that all of us don't think we're succeeding unless we've raised millions and sold for billions. It is true that you are all probably succeeding more than you give yourself credit for. So if we're going to sit and talk about how success is science today, we have to reconcile as a group, what is success? And I want to pitch to you all that success is not the version that we have been taught. Success is this alignment of wellness and profit and impact. It is you guys keeping control of your destiny. It is prioritizing profitable revenue. It's not getting caught in the trap of this entrepreneur illusion. So how do we reframe it? There's three fundamental principles that I want us to think about. One is to celebrate small. Many small actions are more powerful than one big action. Small growth by many small business owners is more powerful than one person with outsized success. So when we are thinking, and you'll see this in the science when I teach it to you guys, but small behavior shifts add up to big change in your business. All of you having small amounts of growth adds up to a more robust and just economy. So we, again, are always taught, we fall into this trap. We are only successful if some big thing happens. Not true. There's no proof of that. That is not true at a global economic level, and it is not true at a behavior change level. So we have to get really good at celebrating small. The other thing is to think about creating real change. Real change is often different than fast change, big change, change for the sake of change. So many times we think that if you think about all the the typical small business programs, just take this 6-week course and you'll, build an email list of 1 million people and make $10 million. No, you won't. That's not true. That doesn't happen in 6 weeks, and it doesn't happen by sending 12 emails. So what does it take for us to actually settle back, right? To do the real work of real change. And again, I would argue that if you're in this room with me right now, I'm preaching to the converted, I'm preaching to my own choir, but I'm going to say it again, because even when we are in a community like this, and even when we're in process, like we're all in, it is so easy to get distracted by the messages that come at us. But really, I think success is where we create real change, and real change starts with one action, followed by ongoing focus and discipline for a sustained period of time. So some of you guys talked about what you wanted out of today, motivation or clarity on my next step. One action, one move, one moment of clarity you can get today, and one action you can take out of today is the beginning, or can be the beginning, of creating real change. And then this is my personal philosophy. But I really believe that we can use business as a tool for real systemic change in the world. And that success is about creating collective success. I think one of the things that I love so much about the silver lining community, and I say this to everyone who will listen to me all day long, the coolest thing about our Slapsters is that we come from every background humanly possible, every shape and size and country and socioeconomic status and background and neurodivergence and physical ability and sexual orientation. And that every single person, regardless of how different we all are from all those demographic details, every single person that I have ever talked to in our global community has a genuine desire to build the business so that more people can succeed, not so that just one person can succeed, so that we're creating a better collective for all of us. And I believe that to change the world, we need to build businesses that create real systemic change. And I believe all of you are doing that. And again, when I think when there's enough small businesses thinking like this, redefining success, we will change the world together. Mark my words, we are all going to change this world together. So this is the silver standard. This is what I would like to offer is success. That your business sits at the center and your business is the vehicle for which you can optimize your time, your money, and your impact. But it's actually it's not the thing that is taking away your time or stretching your money or compromising your impact. It's actually at the center of it, that we center this through your business. Okay. So again, the big thing here is success is science. Yes, we're going to talk about how to use science to maximize success, but let's really take the second and ponder, how do we define success? All right. Now, the next thing I want to remind you of, going back to celebrating small, small is big. Every macroeconomic data, conversation, if you could talk to any economist, America, for those of you who live in America, America is in the midst of a very big election moment. There are very differing points of view between the two candidates, but the economic policy of both of them agree that lots of people succeeding a little bit is good for the economy. Like it is one thing that we can all agree on. So at a macroeconomic level, everyone agrees we need lots of people succeeding a little bit. Small business is the backbone of all of that. Not tech entrepreneurs, not major corporations, not big monopolies. This is a everyone can agree issue. And for us then, if we recognize that our success is significant, it creates a grounding. It creates I don't like the word motivation, but it certainly creates a conviction, I would say, that we need to be successful. Your success matters. When we look at the number of businesses in the world, when we look at the GDP contributed, when we look at the number of employees employed, when we look at opportunities for people who have been typically excluded from the success margins of the world, in all of these instances, at a global level, small business success is significant. So your success needs to be let's redefine success first, but then let's really know truly your success matters. It is significant in every single way. And why ultimately does this matter? You'll see some of your beautiful faces here. When you succeed, families have opportunities, jobs are created, communities are restored instead of gentrified, the economy grows in a just way. So again, we're going to talk about the success of science, but let's redefine success first. And let's own the fact that your success is so significant. It matters so much. It is so significant. Now, let's also talk about what we're coming up against as we fight for this success. Some of you guys probably took this survey. Last year, we did a global survey of all of our Slapsters, trying to figure out how everyone was doing. 75% of Slapsters said they had varying degrees of stated concern about their mental health. And 56% said that we had so 56% of us in this room probably have been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or stress-related problems by a mental health professional or physician. So there's a lot of real mental health realities that we are all juggling in our pursuit of success. In a different survey we ran, 100% of our Slapsters said that they feel like they don't have enough time or money. I always do this, by the way, going back to the Silver Lining World Tour, in every single stop, I always ask everyone in the room, so does anyone in this room have too much time? Does anyone in this room have too much money? And then everyone laughs. So by the way, it holds globally in every continent. Not enough time, not enough money. So we're pursuing success, right, with our whole being, but we're probably under, more mental health pressure and stress than we may even be acknowledging. And we certainly feel this deep pressure of feeling like we don't have enough time and money. So what if we redefine success? Then we need to own that our success genuinely matters and take responsibility for it. And then we need to acknowledge the challenges that we're facing in pursuit of our success. Okay. And so you guys know this. If you've been in SLAP for more than a minute, you've heard me talk about the cash flow capacity catch 22 about 27,000 times. So now we're going to do 27,001 times. We're going to talk about it again because it all comes back to this. And I'll remind, for some of you who are newer to SLAP, I can tell you, I'll remind you. So almost 20 years ago, when I started Silver Lining, I recognized that I did not know how to help a small business succeed. I had this idea that the world would be better if more small businesses succeeded. I couldn't figure out why it was so hard to grow a small business. And so I interviewed 400 businesses. I set a goal for myself, success is science, that I would talk to one small business owner a day for 1 year. And I would just listen. I would try to understand why it was so hard for them to grow their businesses and then design a solution based on what they told me. And what every single one of them told me was, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. And then I'd say, well, how do I help you get more time? And they'd say, well, I need more money. And I'd say, well, how do I help you get more money? And they'd say, well, I need more time. And I said, this is a problem, right? I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I need more time to make more money. I need more money to make more time. I called this the cash flow capacity catch 22. Now, when we find ourselves in the cash flow capacity catch 22, it creates pressure. And pressure can lead to mental health, anxiety, depression, bad choices. And so the irony is, the longer we stay in this cash flow capacity catch 22, the more guaranteed it is that we will start to make decisions that go against our desire for success. Now, this will be a skill testing question. I'm going to go find my chat so I can look at the answers. When we want to grow our business, right? When we say we want to grow our business, what are the two things we need more of? What do we need more of? Put it into chat if anyone, or come off mute if you're so willing to be brave. What is the irony of this situation? We don't have enough time. We don't have enough money. We need more time to make more money. We need more money to make more time. And when we want to grow our business, growth requires two things. Who's going to give me a guess? No. Keep going. I love you all, but you're all wrong so far. No. All right. And y'all got it. More time and money. More time and money. This is, yes, time and money. This is the irony of success, right? Let's look at this. 100% of small businesses feel like they don't have enough time and money. In conversations and interviews, you all tell me you need more time to make more money and you need more money to make more time. In the same breath, you tell me you are desperate to grow your business, and growing your business requires time and money. This is why we all feel like we're under so much pressure. This is why success is so hard. We are in this cash flow capacity catch 22. And the faster the business grows, often the harder the cash flow capacity catch 22 gets. I say this all the time, right? Many of you who have been with Silver Lining for many years have seen us grow a lot. 6 years ago, we were 12 people. Today we're 60. We've got customers in 77 countries. The software's totally different. We've grown a lot. My cash flow capacity catch 22 is off the charts, my friends. Way more intense than when it was 5 years ago. So growth does not solve these problems. We need to be business owners that can handle well the pressure of the cash flow capacity catch 22. And part of the skill of success is being good at managing this. Now, when the pressure is on, when we are feeling particularly stressed about time and money, our natural instinct is to do one of two things. We go into planning paralysis or we go into action frenzy. Planning paralysis sounds like, if I just build a new website and hire a new consultant and build a new plan and build a new plan and build a new plan and build a new plan, then magically everything will be perfect. I'll just wait and I'll get everything perfect. And then I'll take action and then everything will be fine. And then I'll be fine. Action frenzy sounds like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to go to every networking event, launch referral campaigns, do 27 things, launch a podcast, go to trade shows, work till 5 a.m, just do everything. Okay. So in chat, be honest, which is your instinct? When you're under pressure, do you go towards, all of us go to one or the other? Are you a planning paralysis person or an action frenzy person? Throw it into chat. Let's see the mood of the room. Yeah, Christine, I always say I do both too, which is what I would call a torture chamber. Torture chamber is when you go into both. At least if you're doing one or the other, it's consistent. Okay, paralysis, action frenzy. And again, guys, in all of these things, there's no right and wrong answers. And there's also no shame. This is human behavior. This is how we're wired. How we're wired is ironically not super productive for success. So we need to understand these things about ourselves so that we can apply the science of success to help ourselves make better choices. Our natural instincts are often not the right answers. And so we've got a really good mix in the room, a lot of both, a lot of people that share the torture chamber with me of planning paralysis and action frenzy. So now, whether you go into planning paralysis or action frenzy, they both get us to a place where we get stuck. Stuck stage 1 sounds like I'm too busy. You stay there for too long, you go to stuck stage 2, I'm overwhelmed. You stay there for too long, you go to stuck stage 3, I've lost my passion. You go for there too long, you go to stuck stage 4, I want to quit. No business ever quits because it genuinely can't succeed. So again, if we go back to this word success, I am here to tell you, I have seen the most ridiculous businesses that quite frankly make no real good sense, that are not that clever, succeed greatly. And I have seen fabulous business owners with fabulous business ideas ultimately decide to quit. I have never in 20 years seen a small business in the world that I did not think could succeed. The only businesses that I've seen not succeed are because the business owner ultimately quits. So your success is in your hands. It's just not true. Very rarely, almost never, is there an external factor that will force your business to shut down. The reason small businesses fail, is because the business owner decides to stop. And so my mission in making sure you succeed is to make sure you never get to stuck stage 4. And that means we need to be good at having all of the infrastructure and support and structure around ourselves so that when we are under the cash flow capacity catch-22 pressure, and when we do find ourselves moving into our natural instinct of planning paralysis or action frenzy, and when we do start to identify that we're in stuck stage 1 or 2 or 3, we get the right support. We intervene on ourselves. We do an intervention to get ourselves out of those dangerous stages of stuck and back into flow, because you can succeed. For sure, I'm telling you 1000% with every bone in my body, you can. The only real risk to your business ultimately not succeeding is you. It's you getting to stuck stage 4 and deciding you want to quit. So we need to do everything in our power to make sure you've got everything you need wrapped around you to set the right goal and to get the right support based in science so that doesn't happen. You're always going to be in the cash flow capacity catch-22. It doesn't go away. It might get less intense. It might have periods of more intensity. It'll shift in its intensity, but you as a business owner need to build the resilience and the skill to manage the cash flow capacity catch-22, to understand your natural instinct of planning paralysis and action frenzy, and to intervene on yourself as you start to get stuck so that you don't ultimately decide to fail. But again, the big messages I was giving to you today are: 1, let's redefine success. What does success really mean? 2, your success matters. If we're going to change the economy, create opportunities, create jobs, your success is the way that will happen. It matters. I want you to take responsibility for your success. And then 3, I'm telling you, your success is in your hands. The only small businesses that I have seen fail, close down, shut down in the last 20 years are the ones that a business owner has decided to end. There's never been another reason for it. So your success is in your hands. You have power and agency, much more than I think sometimes you realize. And what I don't want us to do is let any of you ever get down to stuck stage 4. I want to do everything in my power when we start to get too busy, too overwhelmed. I want to get us back into flow, back into good structure and support, back into good strategy so that we can continue to manage the cash flow capacity catch-22 well. Okay. And that's what we're going to focus on now. So time and money are your 2 most critical resources. If we're all going to succeed together, which I believe we are, then it matters how you spend every dollar of your money and every minute of your time. And I always want to keep coming back to that. So there's 4 principles that we use to make up SLAP. Commitment is a choice. Profit is a skill. Mindset is a muscle. Success is science. I'm going to zoom through these first couple sections, and then we're really going to sit with success as science. We'll be there within about 3 minutes, I would say. So first, commitment is a choice. I can teach you the science of success till the cows come home. It doesn't matter if you're not actually committed to your success. So commitment is a choice. You cannot make me succeed. I cannot make you succeed. None of us can make anyone succeed. We can help ourselves succeed, and we can wrap structure and support around ourselves to increase and optimize our success. But the only person who can choose to be successful is us. So I'm looking at Ingrid. Ingrid can choose to succeed. Kevin can choose to succeed. Victor can choose to succeed. Jenny can choose to succeed. Carissa can choose to succeed. But I cannot choose for any of you to succeed. And you cannot choose for me to succeed. Commitment is a choice. I always say this, but I really mean it. Like every time I talk to a small business owner, within about 3 or 4 minutes, I can predict how serious they are. And it's not because I'm like some rocket science. I've been doing this for 20 years, but I ask a couple of very simple questions. Why did you start your business? Right? If someone started their business because they have something that they are really like, they're passionate about delivering to the world. Shanti, I'm thinking of you right now. They have something that they care about deeply and they want to bring it to the world. That person's probably going to succeed. If they are just absolutely like dedicated to contribution, to doing something for their community, to building a legacy for their family, that person is probably going to succeed. If I hear someone say, well, I hated my boss and I had to quit my job and I wanted my own path. All right, well, good luck being a small business owner. It's really freaking hard. Your boss is going to look pretty good in a year. I wanted to make more money faster. Okay, well, that's not really how a small business goes. So it's probably going to feel depressing and sad when you realize it's really hard to make a ton of money right away. So commitment comes down to integrity. Why are we doing what we're doing? Are we doing it because we're looking for get rich quick schemes? Are we doing it because we're mad about something else? Or is a commitment because it's actually something we're deeply aligned with? You can't be committed if you're not in alignment. And commitment is a choice. So as we think about success, the science of success, I'm going to teach you the behavior change science and you can apply it to yourself. But if you're not actually committed to growing your small business, if you're not actually committed to the goals that you've set, it's not going to work. The success can't work if the commitment isn't there. Okay. So this slide always makes me laugh. It's like a very silly silver lining joke, but I do it anyway. I think it's so funny. There is no silver bullet, but there is a silver lining. There is no silver bullet. There's no magical answer that's going to magically solve all of our problems. But there is a silver lining, which is that we can succeed. We'll celebrate small. We'll create real change. There is science of success. When we're committed, it is possible. Okay. So small business owners, success requires saying no way more than yes. So saying no is not a sign of weakness. It's an assertion of your priorities. Recognize that saying no is more powerful than saying yes. So in order to succeed, right, you need to say no to hustle, to overgiving, to being busy, to getting stuck, to making bad choices. Yes, to focus, to discipline, and to your highest priorities. Success comes at a cost. The cost is saying no to everything else. No to the things that are not the highest priority. No to things that are really good, but not the best or not the greatest. We cannot do it all. We cannot have it all, but we can have the success we want if we're willing to say no to some of the other stuff. Okay. Now, the second is profit as a skill. This is the core SLAP framework, right? You've got your I think it's here. Yeah, you've got your ideal client, your SLAP statement, your SLAP goal, and your connecting campaigns, right? This is the strategy, the business tactics. For those of you in the room who said you need to rethink your SLAP, you need to get more, tight on strategy, you want to rethink your strategy. Successful businesses have only these 4 strategic things right, but they're really good, right? They're really right. They take the time to really get these right. You really know your ideal client. You've got that very clear, non-negotiable SLAP statement, what, who, and scale. You've got a very good goal. We're going to talk about the goal a little bit more in a second. And then you've got the right connecting campaigns. You're not trying to do everything and you're not doing nothing, right? Planning paralysis looks like you're doing nothing. You do no connecting campaigns because you're still building your website all the time. Action frenzy looks like you've added 27 connecting campaigns into your SLAP and you're not getting any of them done because you're pulled in so many directions, right? Good SLAPs have 3 to 5 connecting campaigns per quarter, with all the connecting campaigns tied to one connecting strategy. One key strategy per quarter, 3 to 5 connecting campaigns, all focused, organized. You've got your time, your money, and your energy going in one direction, not pulled in a bunch of directions. Okay, so profit is a skill. It's not complicated. You don't need an MBA. You don't need fancy 27-page spreadsheets with financial models, but you do need a clear ideal client, a clear SLAP statement, a clear goal, and very targeted, specific, well-organized campaigns. Okay, and as we talk about all the time in SLAP, our actions equal results. This is probably one of the most critically important concepts and ideas and through lines in all things that SLAP represents, and also in all things that the science says, right? And behavior change science. If you look at your current results today, they are the result of all of the actions you have taken so far. If you like those results, double down on the actions. If you don't want the results or you want to adjust or change the results in some way, you have to go back and adjust the actions. So there is a 100% connection between our actions and our results. And our mission, when we feel like we're not succeeding the way we want to, or if we feel like we're not getting the results that we want, then we go and we modify the behavior. We don't give up on the result. We don't give up on the goal. We don't say we can't succeed. We go and we tweak and we optimize the actions. And we do that over and over and over again, forever and ever and ever. Amen. So this is our vision for you. This is sort of bringing it all together. A good goal allows for your small business to be at the center, and for your time, your money, and your impact, that silver standard, to be growing. What does your time growing look like? Higher performance. You are performing better. You're getting more done in a day. You're having more joy as you do it. You feel happy and healthy. You're a high performer. Your money is growing, not top line revenue, profitable, sustainable growth. You're building a business that can thrive. You're building foundations that you can grow. And then your impact is increasing. As your performance and your profit goes up, so too does your contribution, and you have more impact in the world. You don't get rich and then start a foundation and give back to charity. No, you build a business where these things are growing together in alignment. And as you have higher performance and higher profit, you have more freedom. And as you have higher profit and more contribution, you have more influence. Again, I've referenced Jason's once, but Jason runs our product team. And in all of the interviews that he's done with all of you to build new features, the two words that come up from Slapsters the most are freedom and influence. What do we ultimately want? Freedom and influence. And that really resonates with me. How do we get there? By maximizing our time, our money, and our impact. And so we've got to be using all of this structure to increase our performance, increase our profitable, sustainable growth, increase our contribution. The reward will be more freedom and influence. The way we do that, we center it through our small businesses. Okay. One thing I'll say about goals is one of the biggest reasons we don't succeed, we don't hit the goals that we set, is because we set bad goals. I don't know where this happened in like the world of business, but there's all these ideas of like, stretch goals and, where do you want to go next? And it's New Year's resolutions are another example, right? I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Okay, great. How? By when? In what way? I want to make $5 million. Okay, great. How much money do you make this year? 100,000. Okay. Well, yes, you can make $5 million, but not this year. Small businesses, Slapsters, this is one of the things all the slap experts in the room can attest to this. We have so many debates, loving, kind fights with all of you about the slap goals that you set, because it is very common that small businesses want to set their financial goals in their slap at a number that is completely unrealistic to accomplish in a 12-month period. And they call it a stretch goal. No, but I want a stretch goal. I want to stretch to something. No, what's going to happen is you're going to look at that goal every day. You're going to feel like you're failing. Your brain is going to literally build neural pathways that literally is teaching you that you're a failure, that you are incapable of success, and you are literally building brain pathways teaching you to believe you cannot succeed. Whereas when you set a goal that is audacious, but realistic and measurable, and you do accomplish it, think about what's going on in Jessica Chen's brain right now. 178% of her goal. I have no idea how much money she made. It's irrelevant. She's building these fabulous neural pathways that's saying, oh my God, I can totally succeed. I know how to set and hit a goal. And that translates to everything. That neural pathway will allow her to set and hit goals in her personal life, for her fitness, in her finances, in her next year's slap. And that becomes the science of success. So as we really talk about the success of science, I am begging all of you to look at your slap goal. Did you set a slap goal? A slap goal is audacious. Yes, it pushes. Yes, it pushes, of course, but it is measurable. It is realistic. It is time bound. You can do it. It's going to push you and you're going to work for it. Of course. Now, no one in this room is scared of hard work, but we're going to accomplish it versus a stretch goal, which you probably are not going to accomplish. You have a choice to build neural pathways that build the confidence of success or that build the belief that you will not succeed. And stretch goals are not just silly, in my opinion. They're dangerous. They're counterproductive and they're dangerous. And when we see people change their goals to being enough money to be happy and well-sustained, right? I don't want you to make your goal so low that you can't pay your bills. No, it's a good goal, is a profitable goal, but it's a goal you can accomplish. So we can't, the science of success won't work if the target that you are trying to accomplish is unattainable. It can't take because you're trying to do something that's unreasonable, unrealistic. Okay. So I'm going to skip through this and let's go to mindset as a muscle. I'm going to zoom through this very fast. By the way, guys, everyone that's in chat saying I can attest to this, that was so me as well. For the record, those are all people that have become Slap All-Stars. Those are all people on the top of the leaderboard, right? They didn't get to those places because they kept these crazy goals and said, oh no, I'm going to make $5 million this year. They got to those places because they said, I'm going to live in integrity and truth. I'm going to build a goal I can accomplish. I'm going to align my behavior to it. And then I'm going to knock it out of the park. And then next year I'm going to get better and then better again and then better again. And so, pay attention to what's happening in that chat. because those are really high performers who are acknowledging that getting their goal into alignment didn't make them less of a performer. It made them a higher performer. Okay. Now, mindset is a muscle. We can all have the right plan. Let's assume you're committed. And then let's assume you've built the right slap. You've got a slap goal. Your slap is solid, right? It's great. The reality is that mindset is a muscle. And just like a six pack or a bicep, it needs to be worked every single day. I always use the analogy. Let's say I'm looking at Janet right now. Let's say Janet wanted a six pack. And so she said to herself, I am going to get a six pack. And she did all the right things. She joined a gym. She hired a personal trainer. She had that personal trainer show up on her doorstep every morning so she never would wimp out missing. She did 1,000 push-ups every day. She got a six pack. And then she said, oh, good. I got my six pack. I can fire my personal trainer. What would happen? Can anyone guess? Anybody?
No more six
It's
pack.
gone. Yes.
He will go backwards.
No more six pack. The thing that got her the outcome, if she removes that, the infrastructure, the structure, the support, the daily habit, she will lose the result. Do you guys want to know the most fascinating stat? This stat is the thing that drives me the most crazy about running Silver Lining. Small businesses that hit their first year slap goal have a lower renewal rate than slapsters that don't hit their first year slap goal. Think about how bananas that is. Slap worked for me. I did it. I won. I hit my goal. I don't need slap anymore. Why do you think you hit your goal? Why do you think that worked for? Because you had structure and support and accountability and a good goal. You remove that habit, that practice, and of course it doesn't work. We have so many people that come back to slap after 2 or 3 years and say, oh, right. I needed to keep doing the thing that helped me hit my goal, not walk away from it. But this is our human instinct. Our human instinct is to build the habit until we get the beginning of the result, and then to quit doing the thing and assume that the result will stay. Think about that logically. It doesn't work. So we want to, right, live in this silver standard. We do that by closing sales. We close sales by taking all the right actions, but we can only take those right actions. Actions equal results. We only can take the right actions if we're operating from a strong mindset. So that mindset is critical. It's got to be protected. So I'm going to run through these really fast. We can come back and talk about them where they're helpful. There's 4 slap habits. Exactly, Maria. Repetition, 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 repetition. Slap habit number 1, say no. Every time someone asks you for a minute of your time or $1 of your money, align it back to your slap statement. Is it in alignment with your who, your what, and your scale? If the answer is yes, that is a good business opportunity. If the answer is no, that is not a business opportunity. It is not a good use of your time and money. Step 2, slap habit number 2, audit your calendar, right? If you guys haven't done it, if you're in your slap and you haven't done a calendar audit in the last 2 quarters, just go put it right into your slap right now. It is one of the highest correlating behaviors to hitting slap goals. Slapsters coming back and auditing their calendar on a quarterly basis, at least every 6 months. Where is your time going? Is it in alignment with your highest priorities? What is your time budget? We all have 168 hours a week only, all of us, exactly the same. There's no way to trick it or hack it. 168 hours in a week. What are your highest priorities and how are you spending your time? Is it in alignment? And then if you set your time budget, are you actually doing it? Where is your time bleeding? Wherever your time is bleeding is the thing to go fix fast, because that time bleed is the thing that is preventing you from spending that precious time on the outcomes you say you want. So the time bleed is the clue. It is a clue to a reason why you may not be getting the results you want. Number 3, monthly I will days. This is where you block 8 hours uninterrupted once a month. I do this relentlessly. And it is, if I miss a month, I will tell you all, I am like tired and stressed and overwhelmed instantly if and when I do it every single month with absolute. I've been doing this for probably 11 years, literally 11 years. It is a game changer. No interruptions, a space outside of your normal work area, no kids, no cats, no dogs, no husbands, no wives, no one around, just you. You inform everybody that you're offline. You turn your phone into airplane mode. You get healthy snacks. You bring Post-it notes in 5 colors, and you go through every single open item on your to-do list, and you allocate each one to a Post-it. Is this something that is actually critical and you must reprioritize? Something you can delegate to somebody, anybody in the world? Something you can delay? Yes, we need to do it, but not now. Push it out. Apologize. It's a commitment you made. You shouldn't have. Tell someone, sorry, I was wrong. Can't do it. Or delete. Just don't do it. It's not important. Yes, go back slide. 2 slides. I can also send you guys these slides if you want. Our team can send them out to you. If they are helpful to you guys, we can send you all these slides if you want. So slap habit number 1, say, okay, we will. I see you guys. Slap habit number 1, say no. Slap habit number 2, audit your calendar. Slap habit number 3, monthly I will days. Slap habit number 4, get unstuck. We're back to that cash flow capacity catch 22. When you start to notice that you're on your sad journey down to stuck stage 4, I want to quit, intervene. This is the critical self-awareness that I believe comes from being truly committed to success. When I start to say the words, I'm so busy, right? I always notice when Carissa, how are you? Oh my God, I'm so busy. Ding, 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 ding. Stuck stage 1. Carissa, listen to your own words. The root issue is probably a lack of clarity and focus. I've said yes to too many things. I did not do slap habit number 1 well enough. Straight to a calendar audit or an emergency I will day. Sometimes I do emergency I will days when I really notice that I'm like on the verge of going from stage 1 to stage 2. Shiza. Things are getting, I gotta go get myself under control here. And I go do a calendar audit and an I will day, and I get things back under control. Intervene there. You will be amazed how effective it is. If you don't intervene there, you'll get to stuck stage 2, which sounds like I'm overwhelmed. Being overwhelmed is almost always connected to unrealistic goals. So this brings us back to getting to your realistic slap goal. If you feel overwhelmed all the time, if you feel like no matter how hard you work, you can never get anywhere, you're just like, you're maxed constantly and not making progress. Either you've become very ineffective in the work you're doing. You said yes to way too many things and it's just burning you out, or you're pursuing a goal that's completely unrealistic, and you need to go back and reset the goal. Okay. So all of that comes back to that relationship, right? Actions and results. Are your actions in alignment? Are your results realistic? And how do you get those two into alignment? Now, if you don't do those interventions, if you let yourself stay so busy, if you keep saying yes to a bunch of stuff you don't need to, if you don't have the right goals and you keep building neural pathways that say you're going to fail and you don't believe you can succeed, you will get to stuck stage 3, which sounds like I have lost my passion. Well, of course you have. Who would be happy about their job if they were constantly failing, never succeeding, always overwhelmed, running around like crazy? Of course, that's not an enjoyable state to be in. The root issue of feeling like you've lost your passion is exhaustion. It is not, you cannot lose your passion. It does not go anywhere. There is no place for the passion to go. It is an overlay of exhaustion that has completely tampered out the passion. The exhaustion has beat the passion, but the passion is still in there. The intervention, go on a vacation, go clear your brain, max your credit card. This is where I say use your last pennies, your last minutes, use whatever you've got, get out of here for at least a week, ideally 10 days. Do not work. Let it fall apart for 10 days. Better that than falling apart completely. Okay, the damage in 10 days is far less than you getting to stuck stage 4 and quitting this business. So let it fall apart for 10 days. Don't make money. Max your credit card. I don't care what you got to do. If you're at stuck stage 3, you have got to go on a vacation right now. And then come back. Your passion will have been released because the exhaustion will have been tamed. And with a clear mind, work your way back out of stuck stage 2 and 3. Go fix your goals, go get your calendar back on track, do an I will day, delegate, delete, delay as much as you can, and get back into flow. In 10 days, if you can go from stuck stage 3 back into flow in a 10-day period, but it's a serious intervention. It is a real choice to get out of stuck stage 3. If you don't, you will absolutely for sure guaranteed drop to stuck stage 4. And that sounds like I want to quit, because you've ultimately become out of alignment. You've ultimately, and when we're tired, we make bad choices. When we're tired, we say yes and no to the wrong things. When we're tired, we don't get the sales pitch out the door. When we're tired, all of the things happening in stuck stage 1 and stuck stage 2 get exasperated, and we just become completely out of alignment. And so if we're all the way at stuck stage 4, we need to do a deep realignment, mindset, profit, and impact, and bring everything back together again. All right. So commitment is a choice, profit is a skill, mindset is a muscle, success is science. We're going to talk, we've got 3 more slides to go, and then we are going to talk about all of this. Success is science. I'm about to teach you the science. It's very clear. It's very simple, but it will not work if you are not genuinely committed. That's a choice you have to make. It will not work if you're not applying the skill of profit that SLAP offers you and setting the right goal. If you have an unrealistic goal, if you're living in stretch goal land, you're not applying profit as a skill. The science won't work. And mindset is a muscle. It's a daily practice. It is a way of being. Success is a habit as much as it is anything else. And that mindset muscle has to be built every day, all the time. And if you let the muscle get weak, it will be far harder to make the choices that allow for the science of success to work for you. So as we're sitting here, I want you to start contemplating, right? Like, are you committed for real? Are you applying the skill of profit? Have you set the right goal? Do you have a clear ideal client? Are you doing focused quarterly strategies? Are you really applying the skill of profit, right, that SLAP gives you? Mindset is a muscle. Are you making these choices on a day-by-day basis to build a strong mindset, saying no to things, right? Living in alignment with your 168 hours a week, doing I will days, getting unstuck, right? Those focused, disciplined, self-aware interventions that allow you to either build a strong mindset versus going into just a completely stressed, pressured, anxious, overwhelmed mindset. Those are all questions for us to reflect on, right? Now, as we get those things in place, success is science. So here's the hopeful news. How do we do all this consistently? How do we do this in a way that we actually can hold it? We apply the science. None of us were meant to do life alone. Behavior change science gives a clear formula for exactly what we need to succeed. Implement it and hit your goals. One of the big things that I'll just say to all of you guys, and I have a group of business owners that I use SLAP like all of you, and then I have a thing called a forum. And I was talking to all of them yesterday, and we had a long conversation about how everyone in the room is just feeling really lonely, really alone. Like this word alone kept coming up. And that's been through line of my whole career. It can feel very lonely to be a small business owner. That is a reality. But we're not meant to do life alone. The science would argue we cannot do life alone. So we've got to get this type of peer community and structure and support around us. So there's many, many, many experts in behavior change science. There are many, many, many slightly nuanced points of view in the science. I'm going to teach you things that I find particularly helpful and that seem to be true across most modalities of behavior change science. The first is what we would call stages of change. This was built by a guy named Prochaska. What I want you to really pay attention to is that change it's not a one-time thing. You know, Bonnie changed. No, Bonnie might be in the action stage of change, but she needs to then figure out how to stay in maintenance so she doesn't go to relapse. And she's in that moment of change for this one moment, for this one behavior, but maybe nothing else. So I can say for myself, right? Like right now I am in relapse on all of my like meditation and like mindset habits. I'm making terrible choices. I don't know why. I know what to do, but I'm not doing them. Very bad relapse. But I'm in like action on my physical goals. I hired a personal trainer. I'm working out. I'm building my physical body. I'm in preparation on other things, right? So we're complicated beings, right? We don't just change or not change. We have lots of things that we are wanting to build and grow as humans, and we're in various stages of it. The big thing I want you guys to take away from this slide is that when you got in the context of hitting your business goals, when you signed up for Slap, you took action. You made definitive changes. You said, okay, I'm going to do something different, right? I'm going to add a different element to my structure to make a change, right? I hired a personal trainer because I want to rebuild my body after my surgery last year. That was action. I made a definitive change, right? So whenever we make a choice, we make a definitive change, we are in action. Now, what the science says is that oftentimes there are so many changes that we could be making that we don't even know about. So we have a lot going on in our subpsyche and pre-contemplation. We don't even recognize there's a problem, right? We're spinning and spinning and spinning. We're doing and doing and doing. Life, that's just the way life is. So all of us are probably sitting on about 1 million changes we could be making in pre-contemplation that we don't even recognize. So just note that we're these beautiful, wonderful humans. We're also kind of simple in many ways. We've got lots of changes we could make, but we're not even aware of many of them. Then we go through contemplation, preparation, we take action. Now, the hardest stage in all of this is not action. It's maintenance, maintaining a new behavior over time, right? We got the 6-pack. Okay, yeah, now keep working out with that personal trainer for the rest of your life and you'll keep the 6-pack. I hit my Slap goal. Great. Keep using Slap and set the next goal and the next goal, and you'll keep hitting your goals. The instinct that happens though is when we succeed, when we have marginal success, we get overconfident and we remove the structure that was around us that created the success in the first place. Weight Watchers is a great example of this, right? So many people hit their weight targets, quit Weight Watchers, and gain back more weight after. Alcoholics Anonymous. So many people think that they've, kicked the habit of drinking. They're not, they haven't drank for 2 years. They stop going to meetings. They fall off the wagon. They start drinking again. Relapse is basically guaranteed if you don't keep the same structure in place forever. So whatever in that action phase, whatever structure and support helped you get to the result, if you remove it, relapse is basically guaranteed. But relapse is dangerous because it's a full or partial return to previous behaviors, but it comes with really negative feelings. So that person that did the 12-step program had the deep satisfaction of not drinking for 2 years, stopped going to meetings, and started drinking again, will feel worse about their addiction after a relapse period than if they had never even gone to AA in the first place. The person that lost 50 pounds in Weight Watchers, quit Weight Watchers, gained back 75 pounds, will feel worse about the weight after having regained it. So that relapse period is really, it's a guarantee if we don't do maintenance well, and it is worse. Even if we end up just where we started from, we feel way worse about it. So the key message here is maintenance. If you took away one thing from today, from Success is Science, maintenance is more important than action. So in the context of your Slap, your small business, like if Slap is, I have done Slap for 19 years. Melody Bissell has done Slap for 16 years. It's not about Slap. It's about maintaining consistent structure and support around you so that every year you set your goal and you go again and you go again. It's about keeping the infrastructure, right? Staying in AA for life, staying in Weight Watchers for life, maintaining the structure and support that created the change that got to the result you wanted. The number one instinct we have is we remove it because we won. We accomplished the goal. So we remove the thing that got us there. Now, this is a different behavior change expert, but they talk about the pillars of behavior change. What are all of the things that you need wrapped around yourself in order to really succeed? So this is first, gain commitment, right? Commitment is a choice. Then set modest goals, SLAP goals, not stretch goals. Then rigorously track your behavior, right? I asked you guys at the beginning of the meeting, right? What percentage are you out of your quarterly goals? What's working, right? Like rigorously every day. What's happening? What's happening? What do you know, right? Fitbit is a great example of this. Think about Fitbit. I always have this imagination in my brain of all these executives sitting at the Fitbit office designing Fitbit and being like, okay, so we'll let everyone set a goal for like how many steps they want to walk. And then some guy would be like, no, I don't trust them to set the right goal. Let's just tell everyone 10,000 steps, right? So what do? You buy the thing, you put it on your wrist, commitment. The goal has been set for us, 10,000 steps. Rigorously track behavior. 1 step, 2 step, 3, right? How many of us look at our phone to see how many steps we've walked? 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if we don't have Fitbits, we look at how many steps we've walked, many of us. It's so clever what they've done. And then we build self-efficacy. When we start to see that we are doing the right behavior and we start to see that we are getting the results, it builds confidence. Self-efficacy is basically confidence, neural pathways. Oh, wow, wait, I really can succeed. Oh, wait, I can adjust my behavior and get an outcome. Oh, wow. And that self-efficacy over time, over and over and over again, it literally builds a habit of success. It literally builds these patterns of behavior into habits. There are so many slapsters I talk to, like doing a pause and reflect in Slap Center. It's just a habit. They just do it. They do it. It's part of their routine. It's part of their lifestyle. Going to their one-on-one call with their slap expert. It's their habit. They don't even think about it. It's part of their routine. It's part of their way of being. It's a habit. And then wrapped around all of this, we need outside coaching. None of us can do this alone. We need somebody else in our ear. That coach cannot be your husband, your wife, your best friend, your neighbor. It's got to be someone that has no skin in the game. Their only relationship to the relationship with you, right, is that they want you to succeed. That's it. Paid friends, I call them. So you guys get that with your slap experts, right? And the slap strategy calls. And then a peer community. The peer community has got to be people working on the same goal as you, right? What happens when anyone goes to a 12-step program meeting? First thing everyone does is sits down and say, hi, I'm Carissa. I'm an alcoholic. By the way, I am not an AA. I have gone to many meetings because I think it is a delightful program. I really am a believer in the 12 steps, but I think there's something so powerful. You know, hi, I'm Seppi. I'm a slapster. Hi, I'm Carissa. I'm trying to lose 27 pounds right now. That, right? Weight Watchers, you weigh in. 12-step program, you say, I'm an alcoholic. I've been sober for this many days, right? There's a shared community, not a networking group, a peer community of people with the same goal, on the same journey, saying honest truths about what is going on for them. When this is in place, I'm not going to say you're guaranteed success, but you are on a very, very, very good path of success. And this is exactly how we design SLAP. I'm sure you guys can see it, right? You commit by joining. You set your SLAP goal. You set your action plan. We track your behavior. You've got your SLAP score. You've got all this data we're giving you to show you if and how your behavior is helping you get to your goal. You build confidence. Oh my God, I hit my Q1 goal. Oh my God, I got this done. Oh, that sale came in. Oh, I can track the relationship between this and this. You're building new habits as we go. We're just subtly, ever so subtly, using this science to build new habits in all of us who use SLAP. You've got outside coaching and your experts and advisors, and you've got a peer community of business owners around the world who are working on the exact same thing with the exact same context and experiences. So this is SLAP. So SLAP is meant to help you live in action, and it solves maintenance, right? Our goal is to get you into action, and SLAP is the maintenance infrastructure. It is our mission that you never relapse if you keep using it the way we've designed it. We've used this science to design it as a maintenance tool. And it is based on this philosophy of what is required to succeed. And SLAP is very intentionally designed to give you every single one of these things that the science says is required to set and hit goals. So, and then this is it. So if I could wave a magic wand for all of you, what I would want you to know is that, you know, for the last 20 years, I have lived and breathed and slept and ate and tried in every way I could to understand behavior change science. And then have spent over $10 million building SLAP Center for this community to make sure that everything the science says is required to succeed is integrated into and built into how SLAP is designed. So if you use it well, you are using the science that leads to success. It is built in for you. So ideally, you build your action plan so that you have total clarity on your ideal client, your SLAP statement, your goals, and your connecting campaigns, right? With a real emphasis on the right SLAP goal, right? Remember, science says set a modest goal, SLAP goal, not stretch goal. Use hundreds of templated connecting campaigns and find new customers, closing more sales, right? So take away the mystery of how to find customers, use all the connecting campaigns we have. Benefit from the experiences of this global collective of SLAP strategists, SLAP experts, fellow SLAPsters, and really, oh, sorry, I lied. Let me back up. Benefit from the experience of global collective of SLAP strategists and fellow SLAPsters who have all been where you are. That's that pure community. Get unlimited tech-enabled, data-driven human support to help you succeed. Leverage SLAP Center and the experts to optimize your actions. That's the outside coaching. SLAP Center is actually coaching you, and then the SLAP experts are coaching you, right? That's the coaching. And then if and when you need it, right, access SLAP Capital and other perks and benefits to sort of push yourself to the next level. So I'm going to back up again. I'm just going to reemphasize this. Commitment is a choice. You could choose to succeed. I can choose to succeed. I cannot choose for you to succeed. You cannot choose for me to succeed. It starts with us. Profit is a skill. No more stretch goals, my friends. SLAP goals. Goals that we can accomplish, that build positive neural pathways, that build self-efficacy, that show that we can and will succeed. Profit is a skill. It's not complicated, but it is a skill. And if you use the SLAP build process properly, the skill is almost enforced upon you. You don't have to go do anything fancy. Mindset is a muscle. Primary, right, in all four of those habits is that we need to intervene on ourselves. We need to say no to all the wrong things, do I will days, do calendar audits, get back to being focused on our priorities always. And then success is science, right? Specifically, your mission needs to be maintenance. You're already in action if you're in this room. So you can just give yourself a high five. What we need to protect you from is relapse. And SLAP was designed 100% to get you into action and to keep you in maintenance, to not relapse. And then you need this wrapped around you in an organized, comprehensive way. And you can just have the confidence that myself and Jason spend shocking amounts of time learning about behavior change science and continually tweaking the features and the way that SLAP is delivered to all of you to leverage this science to give you all that science says is required to maximize your chance of success. So we are going to stop there and we're just going to talk. What is coming up for all of us? I'm happy for us to just let's just go into Q&A. You can come off mute, put your hand up, put things in chat, but let's just start with any comments or questions. What's the most prevailing thing coming up for any of you? I got to read through a lot of comments.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Faith, I see you. Go for it.
Consistency. And actually you mentioned Weight Watchers, and I was like, I keep signing up because I was on there, and I keep on. No, I know the winning method, and I keep resisting the consistency. And then obviously there's no results with that, right? So it's just that vicious cycle of consistency and the winning formula. And why the heck am I resisting it? That's what keeps coming up for me. Yeah. Although, it's just the lessons are always the same for me.
This is the thing that's so annoying, Faith. I say this all the time. There is nothing new that I've said in 20 years or that I will say in the next 80. There's nothing new that we're all going to say together. But it is, I think, Maria, your point, it is just the repetition, the being in community, the saying it out loud, right? Part of the importance in the science of peer community is being able to say what you just said, Faith, right? There's actually something significant that you just said. Oh, I know that I'm not being consistent with it. And I know it's the same thing, but we'll say those things enough times and then something will shift for us. So even just saying something out loud that we've been holding inside can be very significant in triggering that shift into action, right? We'll talk. I'm going to come back and talk more about how we force ourselves into action if we're struggling with it in a second. But Faith, thank you. I think what you've just said is a very shared experience. So I appreciate it. Myra.
This was so helpful, Carissa. Thank you. What came up for me was in those four stages, the number 3, lost my passion. I've been really, really reflecting deeply on that. And what came up for me in this conversation was that I don't lose my passion, but I definitely get resentful of my passion. And that creates an intense fight of self-sabotage that definitely leads to the quitting.
That's so it. Can you say a little bit more about that? That is so interesting.
Well, I'm in the place of rebuilding my business, and one of the things that I have recognized is missing is content. There's just not enough content out there for my ideal client to get a sense of me, to find me, or to even get a sense of me, because what I know about my ideal client is that there are trust issues. There are severe trust issues. So they need to have some kind of sense of me first to bring them a little closer. And so I'm making an effort to write a book to support this possibility. And that's where it's a passion project. And that is where I am recognizing this intense, like, sabotage thing that happens, where I have a deadline for the book, for the rough draft, and I'm in flow, and then all of a sudden it's an intense, like, I need to go do something else. I need to manage this. I need to work on the website. And so what I'm in this conversation, when I realize that, yeah, that quitting thing doesn't happen for me. What happens is that deep resentment, because I can't let go of my passion for this business.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I'm so mad about it at times, because I'm like, it's taking so long to become profitable, to become sustainable. And the last couple of years with my mom having that crisis, and me really putting that attention to her, just kind of like created that situation where now that she's gone, I'm like, I see the real consequences to my personal life, having put all that attention to her life and supporting her. And while I don't really regret that decision, I get really, really mad about the consequences. Oh my gosh, there's so much heavy lifting I have to do now to get back in the flow. And yeah, so it was very helpful during the mindset call some time ago, when you said you purposely shifted your values. It was an empowered action. And that's been very, very helpful to remind me that my values are what's informing my actions, and that even though the order isn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so perfect, like I want it to be, it's okay that I am still making empowered choices.
So there's so much in what you just said. First of all, I really appreciate how honest you're being. So thank you for that. I know it takes courage to say our truths in rooms of strangers. So I appreciate it a lot. And I always learn, one of the elements in behavior change is that we oftentimes learn more from listening to other people's experiences, even if they don't exactly mirror ours, than by talking about ourselves all the time, right? Sometimes I always say this, I am so sick of hearing about my own problems because I've been talking about them for 42 years to like every therapist and every coach, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sick of my problems. But they'll be my problems for my whole life because they're my problems. But it's so helpful to hear other people's problems and to like have an insight that comes from it. So Myra, I say all that to say, I encourage you all to listen deeply when other people are sharing their perspective, because even if it doesn't exactly match or mirror yours, there is so much to learn from each other's perspectives. It can unlock different points of view. So Myra, what you said and what I would just offer the all of us, I think what you're describing is the pressure we've all inherited from the culture of entrepreneurship, which says that success needs to look a very certain way. And me too, like I have inherited it in every single way. I always say, like, I built a tech company without venture capital because venture capital was against my value set, the way that it operates. But I did not let myself off the hook on the ambition of like what it takes to build a tech company. Most people raise, $100 million to build a company like Silver Lining. I did it. So, but then I constantly felt like a failure and judged myself for it not being done better, faster. But I actually, right, I'm rewriting history for myself. I was actually pretty audacious at 27 years old to stick with my guns and my values and to do it my way. Like that is actually a kind of an impressive young woman, not a big loser failure, right? But it's like, it's all these storylines that we tell ourselves about the way it should be, versus, trusting that this is a long arc of time. We have a long, beautiful life, and this is this year, and next year will be next year. And if we are able to be of service to our families in a period of crisis, or if we are able to, give ourselves the space to write a book for 2 weeks and pause business development to like accomplish something we really are passionate about, it's actually this, like, if we can embrace that we have freedom and agency, and that part of being a business owner is that's what we claimed back from, this crazy world of business. We didn't fall into this societal pressure of having investors breathing down our back and false deadlines, but we claim our freedom and agency to make values aligned choices. I think that's one of the greatest gifts we could all give each other as a community, is permission to really believe that, and live into that. Because then I think we could probably all rewrite versions of our history, things we feel shame or pressure or resentment around, and actually be like, oh, wow, that was a pretty badass move, actually, right? To make this choice and to live my life in this way. So I think it's an incredibly beautiful element of this conversation you've brought in, Myra. Thank you.
Thank you, Carissa.
Okay, Cyan, help me say your name right. Oh no, we can't hear you. I saw you come off mute, but we can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh,
Are you
perfect.
hearing
There
me?
you are. We can hear you now. Yes.
Right. Okay. So it's Sean.
Sean. Oh, I was
Yeah.
totally wrong. Perfect. Okay, Sean.
That's okay. You're not in that boat by yourself.
Yeah.
Most people get it wrong the first time. So firstly, what stood out for me, I'm a bit under the weather. That's why my camera is off. So I'm in a hot mess. But what stood out for me is that I need to revisit my SLAP goal. I think it's a stretch goal. And I was just reading a comment in the chat, about from someone who did that, they adjusted it and it boosted their confidence, because I feel like I need a boost in my own confidence. And I think that adjusting it will help. So that's one action thing that I'm going to do, is adjust my SLAP goal. The other thing too is to say to Coach Mira that she's not alone. I am now becoming a caregiver for my father. And I often, I'm really hard on myself because I'm missing work, because I have to take him to his appointments, or I have to take him to do things because he forgets. And, so I fully understand what she feels. With her mom, my dad is still alive, but I have become his caregiver, or one of his caregivers. So I do need to take time off building my business to help my dad. and my mom sometimes, but thankfully I have a brother who he chips in with mommy, I chip in with daddy, you know, we split it half half. But also to say that, you know, it is a lot of what she said resonated with me because I am building a business that I have had no examples in others to see, to say, well, yeah, that's the direction. I am building my direction as I go along. So what you said about what success means for me would look very different than what success means for someone else.
Yeah.
And I was just reminded of that. You know, what does success mean for me? Is it just money? Because I tend to fall into the trap of comparison. And the comparison for me is that I compare myself to men, not other women, which goes back to, I actually uncovered that goes back to my childhood of being the only good, constantly surrounded by boys and having to feel like I have to one up them. So that translated into my adult life. And so the disease of comparison is strong for me. But redefining what success looks like and what it will feel like for myself. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. You know, what does that look like for me is, I think, critical to take me forward and to stop comparing myself to other people, especially other men.
Yeah.
So I think those are two of the things that stood out. I'm really grateful that, you know, I got out of bed to kind of listen to the call, because it's important that we understand and get to the point of awareness to deal with our issues. I'm working through them. You know, I have someone helping me work through them. It's like, you know, why is he such an issue for you, Sean? What is coming up for you when you see him? Why do you feel pangs of jealousy and envy and all of these things? Why is that coming up for you? You know, so to all of us, that sometimes we do have to take a step back. I am in waste management. I'm in food waste management. It's a really challenging industry, but it's really meaningful work. You know, hearing a lot of no's, feeling like people don't want to take a chance on me, but recognizing that I still have to keep moving forward, that I don't let the no stop me from moving forward. So those are the things that came up for me I wanted to share.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You were going to say one more thing.
No, I saw a cat or a dog. I'm an animal person too. So
there's a lot of cats and dogs. Oh, Herman's got a cat there. There's always cats and dogs running through.
okay.
I always say silver lining is full of incredible small businesses and then a whole bunch of cats, dogs, and kids running around in the background. That's all was going on at every slap meet. Sean, first of all, I hope you feel better. I also, last night, I was not feeling well. I went to bed at 9 p.m. last night, everyone. All of you who know me know that's crazy. And then I slept until 8 a.m. I slept for 10 and a half hours last night. I'm proud to report. Mindset is a muscle. My mindset was wore out yesterday. But Sean, first of all, I hope you feel better. Second, I think two things that I would really love for all of us to embrace as a community, talk about. One is the fact that this group is so diverse is so cool and so lovely, because it's almost impossible then to try to compare ourselves against demographic details. And it allows for us, maybe, hopefully, this is my hope and my dream, and I know it's way easier said than done, but to really have the freedom and agency to just decide what's best for each of us as individuals. I've always said that I think one of the great sadnesses I have, and I do it too, this is like me speaking, I am a business owner like all of you, is that the point of being a business owner is that we get to decide our own destiny. We get to call it. We get to call the shots. We have ultimate authority and ultimate responsibility and ultimate freedom to like build it the way we want to build it. But it's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking it should be a certain way, or the comparison game, like you talked about, Sean, which I'm sure everyone in this room can relate to deeply. And so, like, wouldn't it be amazing to get to the point where everyone in this room has the freedom to say, I'm just going to build the business that makes sense for me, for my goals, my family, my context, my reality. That is my wish for all of us. My wish for all of us is that we can use this community and the structure of SLAP to get to what is just true and right for each of us as individuals and not anyone else. Just so you guys know, Jessica, we're definitely gonna go to you next. So you guys know from a product point of view, just so you understand how intentional we are about this, you'll notice I never ask any of you publicly what your actual sales goals are. I only ask you what your percentage towards them are. Because if one person in this room's goals is 40,000 US dollars and another is 2 million and another is the equivalent of 6,000 US dollars because they live in an emerging market, each are equally valid. Those are equally valid, wonderful, fabulous, relevant goals if they're the right goals for the business owner who sets them. All I want to know is, are we doing everything we can to help you be in integrity with those goals and hit them? But the goal, there's no better goal. There's a bigger goal is not a better goal, a different goal. Like there's no, I have a deep belief. So you'll notice in all of the leaderboards, we're never talking about the amount of money anyone makes. We're talking about the behavior of whether or not you're doing what it takes to hit the goal. And we're celebrating that and we're incenting that. So the amount of the goal is irrelevant. And that is conscious in the design of SLAP. Start watching for it in all of our meets, in all of SLAP Center, in all of the challenges, and all the gamification. There's never a moment where we wonder about how much money your goal is. We only want to know if you're aligning your actions to it. Because the only thing that matters for your goal is that it is the right goal for you. It is fair and just and aligned to your truth, your reality, your goals, your ambitions, your desires, your life. That's the right goal. The goal is it's right for you. And then our job as a community is to help you hit that goal. But I don't care what the amount is. So I just want you to pay attention to that in the software. That is very intentionally designed, that you know what your goal is. No one else does. All we care about is that you're hitting it, that you're in alignment and in integrity. Okay. The other thing you said, Sean, is just really acknowledging that, you know, your life experience, that you don't have a model or a role model, right? And I think that for so many people in our community, that's true. And then on top of that, I would argue we don't have a lot of good role models in business. We don't have businesses that we can all look at and say, oh, there's a business leader who's actually aligning their wellness and their profit and their impact. And like, I want to be like that. So we're also doing something kind of new together. And so it is unclear. It is unknown. It is audacious to imagine that we're going to do something that for many people in this room, you know, we didn't have parents or family members that we saw do it. And on top of that, it's a point of view on business ownership and business leadership that is not common. And so I think just Sean saying that out loud is also beautiful. Of course, we're going to get it wrong. Of course, we don't know exactly what to do. Of course, we're a little bit confused. Of course, it feels unclear and uncertain. Yes, that doesn't mean we ignore that truth, but it means we can embrace that truth. There's a lot of people in this room and in the Slack global community who are literally building businesses that are going to change the course of their families, that are going to shift generational trends. I mean, it's massive. It's so significant. And so, yes, it probably will be hard, and that's okay. So let's be in it together. It's too hard to do alone, but it's the type of hard we can do together. Okay, Jessica, let's go to you and then to you, Friday.
Okay, hi everyone. So many revelations with this session today. Thanks, Carissa. I think for me, like, as an artist, I started my business focused on impact. And then when I joined SLAP, it was to start focusing on profits. And right now I'm in this very transitional place in my career, trying to think of like, well, number one, committing to what I'm doing, and then thinking about what's next. And what I realized in this session was to not only focus on the profit, but to focus on the impact as well. So like, what is the impact of the works that I'm making? And that will then, bring more profits and more opportunities. So that was like a big question that was answered. And then also focusing, I'm going to go to the gym after this instead of like prepping for rehearsal. because as I'm the business owner and I'm also the product, so just taking care of myself. But then when I was thinking, I was in the 4 stages. My question is like, what if you feel all 4 stages at once, on top of joy and like,
Yeah.
you know, gratitude and all that stuff? What do you do when you feel everything all at once?
I'm going to make assumptions, which I shouldn't do. This is like don't do as I say, not as I do, everyone, as I'm about to make all sorts of assumptions about Jessica. So 2 things. One is on the topic of impact and profit. We have a lot of artists that use Slap, which I am thrilled about. That is like one of my great joys in life, is that a lot of artists are using Slap, because I don't think that it should be like, I don't think artists should have to struggle. I don't think there should be poor artists. I think artists should thrive, as you're proving, Jessica, which I'm so excited about. But it's sometimes true, and this is true for artists and all sorts of other people, that small business owners can be so impact oriented that we have just like totally forsaken profit. And so it could be true for many of you that for a couple of years, your impact is going to be so natural that you don't have to worry about it that much. Just worry about getting to profitability, right? Worry about that profit target, as you've done, Jessica. And then there'll be a moment, which I think you probably have arrived at, again, assumptions, where now you can reintegrate and say, okay, interesting. I've now started to get good at making money as I do my art. How do I really step back and tweak and realign my vision for my mindset, my profit, and my impact? And so that is then, all those assumptions are leading me to the answer to your question, which is, the other thing I want to say is, I love that Jessica's saying, I'm in stuck stage 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm full of joy and gratitude and happiness, and I've exceeded my goals. It is really helpful from a mindset point of view to embrace and. I am exhausted and depressed and scared and so excited and passionate and hopeful, right? And is the most helpful word as a small business owner, because it really is all those things at once almost all the time. So I love the and. I just want to say that for all of us. It's okay to be a bunch of things. And actually, if we can just normalize that, it kind of I remember I used to say to my therapist, I can't figure out if I'm like kind of like a genius or like a total failure. And he's like, you're both. At different times in different ways. Like, yeah, just get over it. It doesn't have to be one or the other, right? And so and I want to just call that out for all of us. And if you feel all of those things, Jessica, and you hit 178% of your sales goals, my instinct is that you probably need to go all the way down to stuck stage 4 and do a realignment exercise. Not because anything is bad or wrong, but probably because in that growth, to have accomplished that level of growth, you probably have a whole bunch of new business that you didn't have 2 years ago. And then as you have all that new business, your body, you are the product, probably had to like do more work than it did maybe 3 years before that, or do it in different ways. And then your impact has had to shift because now you're managing a business that's got more responsibility and reality to it. So my instinct is to go do the stage 4 intervention along with a vacation, which you don't have to frame as like, oh my God, I've lost my passion. I'm so sad. As reward and celebration. If you just hit 178% of your sales goals and you're an artist that is making money in New York City and you're this fabulous woman that's rocking it out, you deserve a vacation. So I would prescribe a vacation, which is a celebration and a rest. And then from that rested place, because I think when we rest, everything, all of our knowledge can sink in and take root. Come back and do that realignment exercise, and then set your slap for next year, really conscious of what is the time budget, what's the profit goal, and what's the impact goal you want to have, and how do you take all the learnings from the last year and just keep and tweaking and optimizing. Does that help at all though?
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I was like, can I go on vacation?
I think you must go on vacation. Yes, I'm such a big believer in vacations, people. I love a good vacation. I'm such a believer. Yes, you can and you should. Again, and it's a celebration, but really also, I'll just tell you guys this one more thing. There's a guy named Chip Conley. I actually am going to see if he could come do something for our community, a meet. It would be amazing. He wrote a book that became very famous. He started this place called the Modern Elder Academy, which 5 Slapsters won a trip to in August. You guys may have seen pictures of that. But he talks a lot about metabolizing wisdom. And he prescribed to me, Jessica, not unlike what I've just done for you, he basically sat me down. He's like, listen, Carissa, you've done more in the last 20 years than almost any human I've ever met, but you do so much that if you don't stop and let it metabolize, then it's just unhelpful wisdom. You have all this wisdom and all this experience. So he was like, you need to take a 1 month sabbatical and just write. Doesn't have to be like no outcome, like no, but like just let all the experience you've gained and all like settle in and see what it actually is telling you. But you can't do that without space. So to some degree, I'm thinking about the last couple of years you've had, Jessica, the growth, the learnings, how beautiful would a week or two of letting it all settle be? And then from that place of it metabolizing, your ability to then realign and build next year's slap will be so much better.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I think of the commitment to like committing to yourself and how that is like the biggest commitment is taking care of yourself.
Huge.
So yeah, exactly. 100%.
Huge. And my Achilles heel, by the way, the number one thing I forsake is is myself for sure. So me going to bed last night at 9 p.m. was actually like a radical move for me. So yeah, it's definitely the number one thing. It will be my lifelong work forever and ever. I'll need outside accountability for that because that is my hardest part for sure.
Because we're hustlers, right? Like small business owners, we're like, go, go, go. So you don't want to
100%.
stop.
Yeah. And there's real pressure, right? I mean, again, I think that's the other part of it. I mean, there is pressure to make enough money to pay the bills, to keep it going, to keep, right? And so that pressure is real. So that's why I think it's an and, right? It's not, I'm not going to pretend that there's not pressure on us. And I'm not going to pretend that if we stopped for a year, it wouldn't have an impact. Of course it will. And we have freedom and agency and choice in that. So then we can balance out those choices, right?
Cool.
Okay, Friday.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Actually, I just kind of had a little bit of a comment. I think that this is always really, really helpful to kind of get back to basically the time and the money. And I also feel like most of us probably are really struggling more with time than it is money because the time is always finite. And one of the things that you mentioned, the first step where it's like the saying no, that is definitely one of the areas where I find the most difficulty. And I just wanted to kind of share that another thing that I find is the comparison thing. That's natural. And I think it's like human, right? Like we are a social group. It's kind of part of how we function. It's to see, oh, this person's doing this, or this person's doing that. But maybe also when you're thinking about your saying no, that being a part of it, like what you allow into your space as well, not just opportunities, but information, like what you follow on social media, who you connect with, is all of that in alignment as well, right? And being able to say no to, you know what, I don't want to be driven by this random person's desires or what they're doing, and being able to say no to like letting those into your life also. And I just think it helps balancing it out. And it's something that I'm working on where it's like, you know what, this is not even what I want, but because you're surrounded by those things, you think, oh, maybe I want this or maybe I need that. And I think that's natural, but it was a good reminder to not only evaluate the opportunities you take, but also the things that you let into your life.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. I will tell you guys, for whatever it's worth, double down on each other. I'm a part of all sorts of like fancy business groups, tech entrepreneur groups, and I would rather be with all of you every minute of every day. And I tell everyone that like this community is incredible. There is not one slapster I've ever met that I have not found to be inspiring, resilient, ambitious, audacious, interesting, doing work that matters in the world. Like, to your point, Friday, I would just double down on each other, find each other, collaborate with each other. Everyone in this community is amazing. It is really an honor to know each other. Okay, Herman's going to get the last word. As he does, we only have 4 minutes. If everyone can go into chat, so remember, success is science. If there is one thing that you want to be held accountable for, put it in chat. And Columbo will take those things and create tickets for every single one of you. And our slap expert team will either help you fix that slap goal, take that vacation, add extra mindset calls, go rebuild your action plan. if there's something that's surfacing from the conversation that you know you need to do, one thing you want, and you want to be held accountable, which, by the way, success is science, right? We have to be accountable if we're going to really do it. If you're committed to something, put it in chat. Columbo's going to grab them, and we are going to implement the science of success, and we're going to help you guys get these things done. Because again, you can absolutely succeed. It's just about us all tweaking how we get there together. Okay, Herman, you get the last word.
All right. I was glad that Susanna called me because I wasn't even thinking about this and stuff. And then when she called me, just to hear, different people's perspective and ups and downs in the business. And it's almost like, it's like, hey, nobody actually got it 100%. We're still working. We're a work in progress. And so there's going to be some highs and lows. And I was thinking, and something hit me, because I was like, because basically I was like licking my wounds. I told Susanna, like at the beginning of September, I do an after school program along with my martial arts program. So I lost like 34 people right then and there. And what I felt bad about was the betrayal, because the people were looking at me, they reported me. And so they had to come out and, if they make a report, they have to come out and inspect. But see, for martial arts schools, it was never regulated that, hey, you have to be a licensed, you have to be licensed. So within the state, when that happened, the state had to come out, and then that day of school, they said, hey, look, we gave you a cease and desist letter, and you had to stop that day. So each kid was $400 a month. So you figure 34 kids, that just lost that. So the funny thing is that I had I got more bills now than I have money. So I'm trying to get my stands back and trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. But then I was just like, just kind of moping and like, okay, I'm going to do this, but how? But when I hear you and I hear, some of the people that were talking, it gave me like a little renewed vigor. It wasn't like I wasn't going to quit, but I was just trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of this. But at the end, something hit me. He said, like, well, shoot, when COVID came, I had to shut my business down, but we still kept on going, and I said, well, if that happened to me, I know that, hey, I'm gonna overcome this. It's gonna take just some, like you said, sometimes you have to step back and look. And I always try to look at things in a positive way. That there's a reason for it. I mean, just like the good Lord just tell me, say, look, you need to step back and just see how you're gonna realign things and how you're gonna set things back up. Just come back strong and better.
That's a fabulous way to end this session, because the truth is we're going to have good years, bad years, good quarters, bad quarters, big wins, terrible losses.
Yes.
Herman, you are an absolute example of someone that is just so resilient and will figure it out and will keep going and fight for your business and your people. So you tell us how we can help you, number one, but two.
Well, if you see me on the street, say we'll work for food.
Yeah, no. I'll come. We're gonna get you fed. Don't you worry. No, this is what's incredible though about all of you. The resilience in this community is incredible. And there's nothing about this work and being a business owner that is easy, but it is possible. And I have so much faith in all of you. So Herman, I appreciate you sharing, because the reality is a lot of us, myself included, have had massive setbacks. This has been a hard year for a million reasons. And a hard couple of years before that, and then a hard couple of centuries before that. And so we're balancing all those realities. And I believe you will come back, but it'll be better and easier with all of us supporting you.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, my friends, it is always a pleasure to be with all of you. Double down on each other. Remember that commitment is a choice, profit is a skill, mindset is a muscle, success is science. Maintenance is the name of the game. It's not sexy, it's not fun, but it is critical. And if you just let the SLAP infrastructure wrap itself around you, you are getting the science. And so let us support you. If you get a phone call from a SLAP expert, it's because we've got a data point. We want to help you with it. We want to move the needle with you. So we are here with you 1,000,000% of the way. And I know you can and you will succeed. That is the name of the game of the story. You can and you will succeed. Thank you, guys.